However, keep in mind that when the construction is complete, the fire department will need to go through and do a safety inspection, which is required under the law. Additionally, the Board of Health
Greg,
is...
let me stop you there. They won't get a certificate of occupancy unless that's been signed.
Correct,
So
correct, and it's actually a mandate. All of the licenses that you will go through on the other renewals this evening, unless the fire department is certified, you cannot vote to grant.
So it's not really a license, it's not like a license issue, it's more of a building.
Correct, it's a safety code issue.
It's an occupancy permit.
Correct. You have the Board of Health.
And Greg, if I can just, on the police.
Yes, sir.
The egress exit, I would imagine that that's a building owner requirement and not
Correct,
the restaurant
correct,
proprietor?
correct. Board of Health,
Potential license needed. I don't know if they don't have this, so the comment on the police department was not only Pittsburgh, but they wanted an egress exit stop sign. So to talk to your the owner of the property, that's what they're looking for.
I give them mine.
To the street.
To the street, that's what
Yes.
it appears to be to me. It's just like,
They're installed.
they have been?
Yeah.
Okay. This was dated on 12/13.
Mr. Chair?
You're welcome.
Greg,
Board of Health, no comments?
I wanted to ask a question on this.
Yes, sir.
For the first time, I'm hearing that they don't have a copy of this. Is that typical, or?
Typically, the comments are reviewed at the public meeting because they're received right up until the time of the meeting.
So they never,
No, they don't have a, they
regardless of
have
who
a
it is?
copy.
That's why we read the comments during the meeting, so the applicant is aware of any comments that come from board and committees. Oftentimes, because of scheduling issues and such, we may not be receiving these until right up until the time of the meeting.
But when, like, for example, when the fire department, the police department does the review, wouldn't he mention that to them, saying that, that's something we would be
They
considering?
may not be there.
Right.
I mean, they may not be.
Or somebody from the
But
company.
they may not be on the premises when the police go down or the fire department goes down. They could have.
Okay, yeah,
No comments from the Board of Health. Final comment was from the Building Department, just acknowledging the fact that the certificate of occupancy is required. That's common sense.
This is a new septic system that was put in there?
Yes, sir.
With grease, restaurant grease traps?
Hmm.
When will you be ready to open?
March 1st, hopefully.
Chuck is also, not only is he one of the partners in the restaurant, he's
Doing the
also
construction.
constructor.
Okay.
You're also a resident of town, correct?
Correct.
I was just looking at the documentation. I apologize, because I just got it this evening. It appears like a 10-year term, not a 25-year term.
The lease?
Bank,
The bank.
bank note.
10 year?
10-year for the initial lease and 3 5-year
No, I'm
out.
saying the bank.
The bank loan is a 10-year.
10 year?
Well,
10-year term, was it
10-year
25,
term.
25-year amortization, but 10-year term?
Yes, 10-year initial term.
Michael?
Just getting back to the hours of operation, I guess I would feel more comfortable to make sure that their license matches up to anything else we have in that local area, like we do with the Horseshoe or China Cuisine, Kitty's. I'd hate to, let them walk out there and have something different than from that. I just think we're kind of opening a can of worms. If they walk out of here and think they could be open till 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning where those licenses don't have it, I'd feel more comfortable if we set some kind of something that matches up, so we just have some commonality across all those businesses.
Okay.
I think that's fair. I'm not sure how the rest of you feel about it.
I don't recall that the board establishes specific hours of licensing operations. I'd be happy to go through, there's a number of licenses that are before you, board members. For other establishments, I can go through those, but my recollection is I don't recall that there are specific hours that have been set by the board in the past.
So does that mean they could leave here and they could actually just establish whatever they want?
No, state law regulates their opening hours, opening and closing hours.
Do you know what those are?
I don't off the top of my head, no.
And you said your desire is to open at 11:30, And have everyone out of the building by 12:30?
Yes.
I believe the license, there's two different licenses, a 1 o'clock license and then a 2 o'clock license through the state. We're trying to get the 1 o'clock.
That I don't know.
I believe there's been a while, but what I am certain of is that certain establishments satisfy the requirements to get a 2 o'clock license. I am certain that there are establishments in the Commonwealth of Mass that are open as late as 2 o'clock.
Yes, no.
For this applicant's purposes, again, I think that the hours of operation that have been presented to the board certainly fall within the state statute. And any, as the board sees fit in terms of conditions of the license, what's been presented is what they have every intention of honoring. So.
What are your hours of operation in Woburn?
That 11:30 to 12:30.
Hmm.
Yeah, 7 days a week.
Any other questions?
Yeah, excuse me.
Mr. Yu.
Yeah, but that license is till 1? Is that the license?
No, there it's serve until 12, and then everybody needs to be out of the facility by 12:30.
So, and here you're looking to serve to 12:30, but out,
Same.
serve to 12 and be out by 12:30? Is that what I'm understanding?
In other words, the bar is closed at 12. Is that what?
Right, and, you just let people have, usually they're allowed to have last call 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
So you want to give people at least a little time to finish the drink, make sure everybody's copacetic to leave, and then give, 12:30,
Mhm.
get everybody else, but the employees that need to be there close to the building.
Just looking through the application, Mr. Palmer,
So much for me.
put in
I was
that,
thinking
this
maybe it
establishment
does.
is 40 hours a week. Are you going to still continue working over at Janet Tavern in Woburn as well?
I'm gonna run both places. When I lived in California, I had 3 places going at one time, and I was able to do that. Granted, I was a single guy at the time, but I started when I was 27 years old and as an owner of my first restaurant. I'm gonna be 44 this year, so I've been doing it for a long time. I'm good at it. I have a great track record as far as controlling alcohol, knowing when enough is enough, and knowing how to handle the situation. So I'm confident that I can do that. I'm gonna have some people under me.
Yeah, do you know who that's going to be? Because
I do. There'll be 2 people in Woburn, whereas right now there's just one other person. So I'm gonna hire an additional person there, and we'll have 2 people in the North Reading Tavern as well as myself.
do they have prior restaurant experience?
Yeah, one of those people is gonna be one of the managers there. She's been with us at the tavern now for 5 years. She's a relative of mine.
Anyone else?
Oh, good.
Just as far as I can't help but comment on the current design of the building as I passed by it.
Driving into the back.
Yeah, we're driving into the back, and the curb appeal is not very good. Is there gonna be something to enhance that at this point? Are there any plans?
Call Pat.
What's that?
Call the landlord.
The
We said
landlord.
the same thing. Have you been by recently with the landscaping they have done?
I'm
by
extremely
on
disappointed,
Sunday.
and again, I guess, maybe I didn't.
It's very close to the
I didn't
curb.
feel the need to,
Turn it.
generally, I don't feel the need to monitor this from a CPC site plan review standpoint, but from what I've seen to date, I'm unimpressed and extremely disappointed. So, are there any other plans to enhance the curb appeal as it currently appears?
Oh, if that's their requirement.
Well, we're,
I-
From us,
other
no,
than-
well, I shouldn't
We
say
know
that. We
that.
are putting an outdoor patio,
It's not, no.
which will be on the side of the building.
What about,
Which side? South side, north side? Hopefully it's south
South
side.
side. Yeah, south
yeah,
side.
we're limited in what we can do based on what
and
the
I'm just
landlord
looking,
will
I'm just
allow us
looking
to
at
do
the,
in the facility.
Just a
west side of the building.
flat west side of the building.
Flat west side of the building is extremely unappealing.
Yeah.
And it does absolutely nothing for the appearance entering into North Reading from the Andover direction or heading into Andover northbound. It's plug ugly and it looks like a,
I tend to agree.
It's plug ugly and looks like a box.
Better than what was there, though.
I wouldn't even go that far.
I would.
No,
No,
because the other
I totally
restaurant
Well,
disagree.
set back.
Set
I
back.
totally
Yeah.
disagree, because the other restaurant was set back and you had,
Well, the
They didn't
requirements
see
were
it.
that he was to build it that way.
Right.
He was required to have.
I'm
a
not
railing.
disagreeing
No,
with
that's
that. And
right.
again, maybe my bone to pick is with the planning commission, the site
Yes.
plan review process, but I feel remiss
That's
if
it.
I had not mentioned something at this particular point in time. It's plug ugly right now, and I don't
Hopefully-
see how that's going to enhance a startup business at that location. And something needs to be done, whether it be awnings in the front of that building, or,
On the back.
or, excuse me, on the back, which is curbside front. Something needs to be done, because I am definitely looking at the back side of the building, and it looks like the back side of something else.
Looks like the backside of a building.
It certainly does. It certainly does. And
It's not that bad.
I don't know, it's not?
Well, they painted it, so.
It's not that bad.
I agree with Steve.
Steve-
It's
I mean,
the
and
ugly
I don't know, I mean,
side.
you're gonna be the tenants. What's your thought?
I'd love to be able to put
I
nice
think you should
awnings
send
on
him a
front.
letter telling him to pretty it up. That's my
Well,
thought. I
Yeah, I
agree.
mean, I've been standing quietly, not wanting to interrupt sharing thoughts like that, but I would just encourage these guys as my clients to put it honestly, as I think they have, that, you know, their control is limited with the landlord, but I know I hear the message, and I tell them on the way out of here, call the landlord and tell them we listen to some brief about the aesthetics of the building. Let's talk about doing something.
I can't believe a
that's,
brand-new establishment with a brand-new building being built
Yeah.
that
They
way.
modify, CPC, they allowed a modification of that building, too. That's not the original design plan that
Well-
they
Oh,
approved.
so it's better than it was
Yeah.
supposed?
No,
No,
no, I'm saying it's
no.
worse,
It's worse.
but
Well,
they allowed it.
I recall when I was at the CPC meeting, and they were concentrating on the front, on the entryway, and they wanted something raised. I don't
I'm
remember
sure it's
everything.
beautiful from
And
the
they-
parking lot
but, you
behind
know,
the building.
But the perception I had when I was looking at it, I had no idea that it was going to be
The backside.
the back side. I was assuming that that was the front side.
It'd be all right,
which
as
would
long
be
as, once you get people to drive in and around, it'll be all right.
But it's not all right. I mean,
Sound
we
all
have a difficult, we have had a difficult task for years as far as enhancing the Route 28 corridor from Andover to Reading. Come through Andover, it looks fine. Go to Reading, they've done significant amount of work as far as enhancing the Route 28 corridor, particularly the business district. And for us, it's been a challenge, and we appear to have missed the boat as far as an opportunity here with brand-new construction. I'm absolutely, I can't say I'm speechless because I'm still talking about it, but it's unbelievable.
Planning theories seem to change every 5 or 10 years, too. There seems to be a new in vogue way of planning, you know, tight to the
I
street,
can't
parking in the
imagine
rear,
this
parking in front.
as built being part of anybody's master plan.
I suspect it
We'll
had
take
a
the
lot
message
to do
back,
with
so
the-
you know, it's, you know, that's fine, you can take it back to landlords, but we also need to probably get our comments back to them. Let them know how we feel.
And if need be, maybe some, and again, this is business strategy on your point, some leasehold improvements may need to be done, just to,
We talked about it on the way over here, about, when I increased the cost of the building, but, you know, nice awnings go a long way.
something.
Some
Trees to hide it?
trees,
Right.
Paint some
you know,
fake
go-
doorways and
Right
windows
now-
or
Right now,
something.
Christmas tree,
Complete
Christmas
row
lights.
of tall arborvitae's.
You trim it with Christmas lights.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You want me to read the motion?
Yeah.
You want to give public?
We got any other input? Anybody in the
Just
public
comment.
want to comment? Yes, ma'am. Yes, please. Name and address for our recording secretary.
Hi, I'm Donna Colbrook, and I live on Alston Road, which is directly across from the restaurant. And my husband, Larry Susi, is out of the country. He's been out of the country for 14 months. So he wanted me to read something tonight. Now, keep in mind that he hasn't seen the building. He will be back at the end of December. And when he heard that they were going to be playing live music, he was assuming it might turn into a nightclub, and I kept telling him, well, no, they're gonna be playing live music. That doesn't necessarily mean nightclub. But I will read his remarks, and I have a copy for you, but he's in Australia on vacation, and he didn't scan this in and sign it, so when he's back in New Zealand, he can give an official